So to recap, we've been talking today about a strategy of civic power that we call acting reciprocally, activating the power of reciprocity to create power. And we've talked about two dimensions of that work. The first is to start a club, or as we put it more colloquially, be like Ben Franklin. Remember to create circles of mutual aid wherever you can, where people are helping each other and not just each doing their own thing. When you build that muscle for mutual aid, you activate a different kind of civic empowerment that is more and more necessary in our community life. And the second piece was practicing deep cooperation. And that means getting yourself and others in civic life out of the mindset of being a spectator or a critic and being a contributor, a co-creator, and a co-author. And what this means is actually taking responsibility from the inside out, the inside of yourself, the inside of your community. And I think, there's a cliche about power that comes from, among other places, Spider-Man, that with great power comes great responsibility. But I think the converse is also true. With great responsibility comes great power. That is, if you invite people to take more and more responsibility of their problems, of their opportunities, of their challenges, they build power. You build power. And that's super important in acting reciprocally. Well, every episode we love to take questions from you, viewers, through social media, and we've got a couple of really good ones here today. The first one comes from Kathy on Facebook. Is signing petitions really effective? If not, what is the most effective way to make our voices heard? I would say the short answer is yes, always. I mean, if you got a petition on something that you care about, putting your signature on there, clicking like on it, or clicking yes on the petition can't hurt. It can always help. But the fact that signing a petition is so easy should also make us reflect on what are the kinds of engagement that are a little harder, that require a little bit more investment of your capital, your effort, your energy. And think about those and how you could actually apply deeper kinds of energy and power to different issues. There's always going to be some issues, whether it's the recall of a bad judge or trying to change GMO labeling on foods, where petitions and the kind of accumulation of lots and lots of signatures can make a big difference. It's a form of representing people power. But there are other times where you've got to be more precise about what you're trying to move in the power structure and which decision maker, which policy maker you're trying to apply pressure on. And in those cases, a petition may not be as effective as simply mobilizing a really vocal group of constituents or an affinity group of constituents that decision maker will care about, or maybe getting the media to focus a lot of attention on something, or maybe it's doing something else like getting donors to care about things and make a little bit of noise, because politicians do in fact, whether you like it or not, respond to their donors. So thinking about those other pressure points as part of a wide set of tools that you have that include signing petitions, that's good practice of citizen power. The second question we've got here comes from Stephanie on Facebook, and it's another good one right now in this moment. With all the fights to fight out there, how does one prioritize how and where to leverage their civic power? And I like to think about this in two ways. The first is you've got to focus your energies, right? These are times right now where there are fires popping up and burning all across the civic landscape, and it can be very draining to think about, gosh, it's my job to put out every single one of these fires, or it's my job to play whack-a-mole with every one of these tweets that are coming out of the Oval Office right now. But if you focus on your issue or your passion or your concern and go deep on that, you can harness some energy in a way that will be useful. That's number one. But the second thing I would say is this, and it relates a little bit also to Kathy's question. You've got to take stock of your own power. What are the kinds of power that you personally and those in your circle can bring to bear? Right? For some of you, that will be people power. You can get lots of people together. For others of you, it'll be money power. You can write big checks. You know others who can write big checks. For others still, it'll be ideas power, that you're really good at framing ideas or putting new ideas out there that capture people's imagination. Once you take stock of what kind of power you have more than others, what kinds of ways you can deploy your particular forms of power, then you've got to make a very simple choice. Am I going to hoard that, or am I going to circulate it? Right? Don't hoard. Think about circulating intently, circulating with purpose. If I've got a lot of people power, then I care about a given issue, police brutality, poor funding of schools, then I got to mobilize that people power that way, right? But if people power is my thing and money power isn't my thing, then I shouldn't be spending a whole lot of energy trying to raise big dollars, right? Thinking about where your competitive contribution, your competitive advantage can be in civic life is another part of answering this question and being a good citizen. Well, we love to hear your ideas, your questions, your comments, so just contact us any one of these ways. Email us at contact@seattlechannel.org or reach us through social media on Facebook or Twitter. We'd love to hear from you. Well, that wraps this episode, and we hope you'll think hard about how you can change the equation of civic power in our communities by acting reciprocally. I'm Eric Liu. This is Citizen University TV. Thanks for joining us.